This is Dave, Josie's dad, and I'm here to teach you a little bit about Scratch. Scratch is a program that you can get to from your homepage, and we will take a little bit of a look at it today. So to get there, go to your homepage and click on Classroom Studio on Scratch, and you can go there, and you can. I was already logged in, but I'll log back in. You can log in using a password that you're going to get today, a username and password that you're going to get today. Each one of you has a different password, as we talked about in the digital citizenship class. All right, so Scratch is a programming platform designed for kids, and let's make sure we go to the right place here. All right, so now inside of your studio, there's a studio for the Spanish Expo, which is coming up just in a couple of weeks. And I just want to teach you a little bit about Scratch today, so you might be able to use it for your project. So if you open up one of the projects, let's say the Spanish Conversation Remix, and look inside, what you're going to see is a complicated screen with a couple of different areas. One area here is called the stage, and that has a number of backdrops that you can use, and you can select from backdrops that are already loaded into the system. You can choose any of those. You can draw a backdrop using the paintbrush icon, or you can upload a backdrop from a file, and that's useful if you find an image online that you'd like to use as your backdrop. And in addition to the backdrops themselves, there's also scripts. And we don't have any scripts in this particular program. Instead, the scripts are in what are called sprites. The sprites are the characters that can move around and talk and do things in a Scratch program. So when you look inside, there's what the code looks like. There's a whole bunch of different areas of the code. Some of them are motion blocks. Some of them are looks or appearance blocks. There's ways to make sound and play sound and record sounds. There's a way to have a pen that draws on the screen. There's more complicated things involving data that we probably won't get into. But then events are pretty important. This tells the program when it should do things, either like when the green flag is pressed, which is when things start, when the space bar is pressed, when a sprite is clicked, or when two sprites. You can set things up so that something happens when two sprites touch. There's lots of different options inside of Scratch, and you can make very complicated programs. But what we want to look at today are simple conversations and ways to use Scratch to essentially make a presentation. So two things that are important for that are looks blocks. There's a say for some number of seconds. And you can see when we're starting this one, we're having one character speak in Spanish and the other character speak in English. And the timing is just matched up between them. So they're each saying each line for 5 seconds. And you can see that those line up. And so when we hit go, we see that the things are lined up.
Toc toc. ¿Qué es la? Macavala que interrompe. Mala vaca que interrompe quién? Moo.
So you can see that just told a simple, had a little conversation and then told a simple joke. And that's useful for having characters that might be part of your presentation. The other thing that you want to take a look at is something more appropriate for your Expo presentation, which is, again, in your studio. And it's what's called the Honduras Remix. And this is a little program that I wrote in the style of what you're looking for your project. You can go ahead and take a look at it. And one of the things that you'll see in there is that I use a lot of what are called messages that get passed around between the different parts of the program. And those messages allow you to do things like coordinate when the backdrops change. And so to start with, we're going to switch the backdrop to backdrop 1, which is a clear. And then when other messages come through, it's going to switch to different kinds of backdrops. So go ahead and take a look at that program and ask your teachers if you have any questions.